So here are your gauges. Right now, these are set up for 134A. So I've got the conversion kit for 1234yf. I need to find a better way to say that. What you're essentially going to do is you're just going to take these fittings and you're going to swap these out. These are only like hand tight, so they're really not bad at all. So you're going to take this blue one off, which is for your low side. You're going to go ahead and do this. Your low side is also considered your suction side. And then you're going to take this one and you're going to go ahead and slide this on like so. And like I said, just hand tight, snug. Those O-rings are actually really good. They keep that good. And this goes onto the blue side, low side, suction side. And then I will have to take my gloves off and tighten these down. But again, these should just be hand tight. They're not supposed to be cranked down or anything like that. Looking at these gauges, this is not quite at 0. And this one is a little bit there. So, I mean, there's a little bit of pressure in there, or it also could just be that these are what they are. So these are reverse threaded. So to open, you go the other way. And then these guys, the fittings, you just squeeze here. And they just hold on right here. But yeah, they just hang on. And we're going to go ahead and set up the other side. Your service line is the yellow one. This doesn't really have any sort of fitting connections or anything like that, so you don't really need it. This should have a spot here for this to sit. We're not going to worry about that right now. And then let's go ahead and do the last line, the red one. Oh, this one is a little tighter. Oh, not bad. There we go. Just slippery. Slippery when oily, slippery when wet. I don't know, whatever. So same thing, just tighten these on. Whoever had this last, oh my Lord, they got oil everywhere. Terrible. So the only part about renting these, if you were to buy a set, I think these go for $60 to $100. But if you're someone that's not doing this full time, the rental route, even when they're a little messy, is still fine. And then once you connect these parts, you're really never gonna mess with these other than to bleed. And then you're gonna need this guy. You just stick this on right here. So we're gonna go ahead and get our gauges connected. So to do that, we're gonna make sure that these are closed, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey for these two. You're gonna go ahead and make sure everything is snug and tight, just like so. I'm gonna take these for now, and I'm just gonna connect these up right here. Leave that hanging. Your right side is going to connect to the discharge side, and then your left side, or your blue side, is going to connect to your suction side. And the best way to remember this is if you've got a big you-know-what, you'll get sucked till you're blue. So snap this up, pop this on. It goes on the suction side. And then you're gonna wanna make sure these are closed, and these are backwards, so lefty-tighty, righty-loosey. Close that up, and then we're gonna do the right side, and remember which one this goes on. It's the smaller line, but the best way to remember this one is if you've got a small you-know-what, she may laugh and you may turn red. So that's where this one goes. And to connect those, again, just pull up on them, snap on, they latch into place, and you're good to go. So right now, you're not gonna see any pressure on your gauges at all. And if your system is empty, you're definitely not gonna see any. So what we're going to do is, in order to get pressure to here, you're gonna go ahead and you're just gonna go ahead and start turning these slowly to just open these up. So we're gonna start with the suction side, and I'm just gonna turn it slowly, and you're just gonna keep opening until you get any sort of pressure into those lines. We're just gonna keep opening, and there we go. All right, so we got some pressure, and that gauge is going up. So we're gonna do the same thing on the discharge side. So same thing, righty-tighty, or opposite, lefty-tighty, righty-loosey, whatever. So we're gonna go to the right on this one to open it up. There we go, got a little pressure in there. Cool, so this system's not completely empty. There's a little bit in there. And again, this one I'm picking up after the dealership had a chance to take a look at it. So I know that they added just a little bit of refrigerant / nitrogen, whatever they may have added to get some pressure in the system. So now I'm gonna go ahead and start the car and let it run for a little bit, and we'll see if our clutch on the compressor is engaging, and we just go from there. So now we're looking at the gauges. You can see this and this are just about equalized. Not much going on there. So now we're gonna go underneath, and we're gonna see if this compressor is actually running. So right now our discharge is at the temperature of outside, and it should be higher than that. And our suction side for 1234yf is at 20 degrees. That's really low. You want to be at around 40 degrees. That's kind of the target spot. And then same for here, you want to be about like 10, 20 degrees above the outside temperature. So it's not really running efficiently at all. This pressure should be way higher. This pressure should be way higher. So we got some issues. So normally at this point, you would be like, all right, I have a leak or something. I've lost my refrigerant. You add some refrigerant to it, see if it helps everything. But now the question is, where did this refrigerant go? And in this case, I already know that the refrigerant's leaking out somewhere. And luckily, paying the 120 something diagnostic at the dealership, we've already pinpointed where the leak was. They did that part for us. You would have the urge to start putting everything back together and saying that everything is good. And you could do that if you're so awesome and you think you've magically done everything perfectly. You've got a couple options, right? You can go ahead and leak test the system using nitrogen or something. I mean, technically, I'll tell you the legal answer. You're not supposed to use refrigerant and charge the system and leak test it that way. So nitrogen or some other type of gas, I don't even know, whatever you want, I guess, I don't know. Anyways, so I'm gonna leak test this using the vacuum pump. That's the best way I've ever found, and it makes charging the system a little bit easier once you've got a vacuum on the system. But essentially you're pulling a negative pressure, and if you can pull a negative pressure and it holds that pressure, you have no leaks, or if you have a leak, it's so minor, it shouldn't really matter. But your vacuum pump's pretty straightforward. And then it's got this little fill, which is for your oil. And you're gonna check your oil level here on a level surface, but you fill it up right here. So this fitting's gonna have 2 different ports for different refrigerant types. And you're just gonna find the one that works for you, which is this one. Take that off, tighten this down. Oh my God, my hands are so oily right now. The only thing with rentals is you gotta hope people take care of stuff, and this one was covered in oil. All right, so I'm gonna tighten that down, set this down. And this just has to be finger tight. It doesn't need to, you don't ever wanna use tools on your hose lines. We're gonna make sure that our ports are hooked up at top. So since the new line had a new refrigerant port, I'm gonna go ahead and take the cap off and put this back on. These go backwards, so you're gonna go to the right to make sure this is open, and right to open both of these all the way. And we're just gonna run the vacuum pump for a split second, and you should see this drop down pretty immediately because it's a very small system. What we're gonna do is we're gonna open these, and you'll hear that sound change because it's actually starting to pull. Same thing on this left side. We're gonna open this up, and you should see this drop down. So we're pulling a vacuum now. You can open both up. And we're just gonna let it run for a little while. I'll say 10 minutes. Maybe not even that much, 5 minutes. But you guys can see it dropped pretty good. But before we go any further, so we don't waste too much of our time, we're gonna go ahead and close these up and then turn off the vacuum pump. And what this is gonna do is isolate the system. So this service port only goes to the vacuum pump, and once we close this, it's isolated. So now we're gonna turn the pump off, and we're just gonna see how long this holds, if at all. These gauges were a little bit off to begin with, so that little differential right here is about how much this was off. This one was pretty good, but this one was off a little bit. So that's holding pretty good. If you did have a leak, you would know pretty quick when you lose the vacuum like that. So what I'm gonna do now is just let this run for like 10 minutes. And you always wanna go to like -30 if you can, but this pump is kind of beat up and these gauges are kind of junky. So we're gonna get as close as we can. And even right now, -20, I think we're at, is still pretty good. And we're just gonna see after 10 minutes, close the valves up, see if it holds it. These gauges that's as good as they're gonna get. So we're just gonna take a picture of here. So we know that this is about -20 on this one, and this one's way down here, which is good. So same thing, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna close this service line, do the right side first. We're gonna do you can snug them a little bit, but not too tight. And then we're gonna stop this one right here. And then we're gonna go ahead and turn the pump off. Leave it at that. We're just gonna let it sit here. And we just kind of want to make sure that it stays at that -20. And we're just going to give it like 40 minutes. And honestly, I think it looks pretty good already. So what I'm going to start doing is getting some of these pieces back together. And in 45 minutes, an hour now, This is held, we are looking good. So we've got negative pressure, vacuum held. So now we're ready to get I've gotten nervous. We're ready to get refrigerant added into these lines. We did this in the beginning, but we're gonna do this again. We're gonna check our refrigerant. If you did any major components, you're gonna go ahead and check your oil here, and then you're gonna check your weight. So we need 0.435 kilograms minimum. I actually switched up this T because I didn't like the one that came with this coupler kit, but whatever. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna leave these gauges closed because we wanna keep our vacuum in the lines. Now for the service hose, we can go ahead and disconnect that. And we're gonna use this from the kit, but it's reverse threaded. So to tighten it, you go the opposite way. We're gonna put this adapter on, and then we're gonna go ahead and connect the manifold gauges. Those are just normal, just like you've been doing this whole time. Same thing, everything is finger tight. All right, snug as a bug in a rug. We're gonna grab our can. We're gonna go ahead and make sure this is actually all the way up, which it is. You guys can see there. So we're gonna go ahead and get our can on. And the threads on this is reversed as well. So anyways, that's nice and snug. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and tighten this down. And that's gonna go ahead and release the refrigerant from the can. I realized that this hose was backwards, so I had to get that connected. So what we're gonna do is connect this up, give it a good shake. You're gonna go ahead and purge this, and you can do this one of two ways, well, several ways. Give this a little open right here, or what I like to do is just quick purge right there and make sure that we get all the air out of the line. Since we have a vacuum, what I'm gonna do is just let this pull in a little bit of that refrigerant before we start it up. So I'm gonna go ahead and crack this. And you can see we start to lose our vacuum right there. And we're just gonna open this up. We're just gonna let it pull in as much as it can before we even start this. Just gonna get this refrigerant flowing through the system. I should have weighed this can before, but that's all good. So we're just gonna let it keep pulling. And it's gonna keep pulling until it equalizes, and we know that we need 2 cans, so this first can I really don't care too much entirely about. But once I weigh the can and everything, I'll kind of know how much I've lost. So we're just gonna keep on doing this. Give it a shake. All right. And we're gonna come right back over here in just a second. Before we do anything else, as far as starting the car, just make sure all your tools are in a spot they're not gonna fall into the engine bay and break anything, because you'd hate to have an air conditioning problem turn into something way more than it needs to be. That would be very bad for everybody. So we're gonna go ahead and once over, make sure everything is good and connected. And also just make sure you don't hear any refrigerant spraying. All right, we're good. So now, let's go ahead and turn this on. Now we're gonna have air conditioning on, fan speed, we're gonna actually just set to low, and we're just gonna let this work itself, make sure everything is on low. And then we're gonna have our starting discharge temperature right here. We're at 94, and we're gonna check that in a little bit. So this is just cracked, and it's just gonna pull in what it needs. And we'll talk about pressures and temperatures and all that stuff in just a little bit, but for now, we're just gonna try to get 1 can in before we talk about math and science and all that stuff. Don't ever touch this side while you're charging. We want to go ahead and do the suction side. It's almost always. Look at that, we're already down to 85 too, and it's dropping. So we're gonna go ahead and just keep charging. Honestly, this can is just about empty. I can already just tell. I'm gonna Google the tare weight on this because I can weigh this can out. But you can see how frozen this can is, or sweaty it is. And then to swap it, then you just swap the can and then do the next one. And we just keep on moving. Shake, 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 senora. Shake it left and right. Work, 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 senora. Shake your body right. And what you want to do too is you can close this. See if you open it up a little bit. We're just going to let this open a little bit more. Since this is pretty hungry, it's going to drain this can in no time, which it just about emptied. So I'm going to go ahead and close this right here. And then I'm going to go ahead and close this by itself, which to do that, you're going to just back off of this. You're gonna go all the way up right there. And then remember, this is reverse, so righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, and you're gonna do the opposite of that. All right. A full can is 11.46, and this is 3.6. So let's do this even better. Full tare. And we got 7.9 ounces out of that, which this is. an 8-ounce can, so perfect. Empty. All right, we're gonna put our new one on. Remember, opposite, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, but flip that around. Sorry, I'm probably making that more confusing than it needs to be. That's nice and snug. We're gonna go ahead and close this down, and same thing, we're gonna purge. Well, shake. And purge. All right, and then give this a crack. Ooh, a little too much. Just a little bit. And we're just gonna let that do its thing until this can's empty. We're gonna do a little status check. Ooh, 71, 70, ooh, 68. We're dropping pretty good. All right, we're just gonna keep this going. And you just wanna make sure you don't put this can anywhere hot, because I think they're technically flammable. Sure. And we could technically get a third can to be as precise as necessary, but honestly with this, we do have a little bit of margin of error. As you saw, there's a range of a min and a maximum, and we're gonna stay right in between that. While this is still adding, just go ahead and check your fittings, your connections, while you've got everything visibly available. You can spray some soapy water, you can do all that just to give another level of check. This is the last check before this is picked up. Let's see what we get. Look at that, 53.2, and it's blowing nice. It feels good. Now, I don't know what else there is to do besides check some filters and call it a day. Well, not too bad. But if you learned something and enjoyed this video, hit that like button, comment button, subscribe button, and stay around, see what LJ's up to. But I'll see you on the next one.